What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of what I'm playing today. It's gonna be Nier Automata Part 1, I guess. Part 1, Part 0, if you will. Hold on a second. See, you know my computer's acting up. Even when I record this in post, my computer's messing up. I have to turn the volume down, of course, too. Wouldn't be right. Wouldn't be a Bran Plays Game video if I wasn't turning the volume down. But as you can see, we are playing this. I'm not playing my hands. I don't know what to do with my hands right now because I don't have the controller. So let me just explain what happened. You'll probably see part 2 after this, or maybe I'll call that part 1, part 0, whatever. Because this, I didn't actually record my voice when I recorded this, but I had plenty of stellar commentary, you know, the commentary that you come to Bran Plays Games for. I had lots of that, and it's all gone because, well, I explained it in the next video, but long story short, it tried to record through the Elgato sound capture, which utterly sucks. And here I'm trying to jump down onto that that lower platform, but you can't do that because of invisible walls. But yeah, I tried to record through the Elgato, and it didn't work, so.
2B か。メンテナンスは終わったのか？はい。ブラックボックスの暴走による敵殲滅。あまり無茶をするなよ。はい。メンテナンス明けで悪いが任務がある。地上にいるレジスタンスたちと合流し。
Yeah, for the record, I have no idea what they're saying because I can't actually. I'm watching this in a little preview window, so I can't see the dialogue anymore. Like I could barely see it on my TV because I hate the grayish white they use. It doesn't contrast very well, so I really can't see it in this preview window. I could make the preview window bigger, but that'll probably screw things up. So. You know, I have my phone in my hand now. I could totally just read you a review. I could totally just read you somebody else's review and be like, yeah, go get this game. But no, I mean, this game, up to this point of the video you're seeing, this is only after the first, like, intro level. So the intro, if you're good, takes you about 30 to 40 minutes. If you suck, it could probably take you, like, an hour and a half. Me, it took me about 50 minutes because I like to explore everything. This game is really great, and I've only played a little bit of it because it does so many different things, but it does them all well, and somehow my recording stopped. Here we go, we're back. That's strange. You know, it's a space shooter game, it's a freaking side-scroller platformer at times, it's an action game, it's a JRPG, so there's a lot of things going for this game, and it's been incredibly fun to even just play through like the first level, the first 2 levels now. It's just crazy to see how well they kind of mixed and meshed all these games styles together. Shout outs to Yoko Taro Yoko, because he's the game developer, or game director I should say. Something I wasn't too sure about, and I'll maybe try to clear up here. So let's see here. Taro Yoko, he is the director of, or he works, I guess, for, this game was produced by Platinum Games, but the director, he used to work for another game company, what was it called, that did Nier, Cavia Games. So, and then Drakengard was also by Cavia and Platinum Games and Axis Games. So this game, I don't really know the origins between the different game studios that develop these games. I just know that Yoko Taro was at the head of the direction for all of these games. So I'm actually not familiar with the Nier series at all. I looked up a little bit of it on Wikipedia last night, and it looked interesting enough. But this game, I can't imagine there were anything as kind of polished as this game. I believe this was supposed to come out, I want to say in 2016. I believe, yeah, this was supposed to come out in 2016, but when Final Fantasy 15 came out, I don't know why I paused there. Final Fantasy 15 came out. I think I was trying to heal. Yeah, because I think I die here. The first death. But Final Fantasy 15, it was slated to come out, and then you have all like the shooter games, so like Black Ops, or not Black Ops, Infinite Warfare, Battlefield, Titanfall. All those came out around the same time, and that's when Nier was slated to come out. But because Nier has kind of this niche audience, was that my... Okay, no, that was just the... Okay, cool. Audience, the game developers held it back until, what, March or so, or I guess February in Japan, so that, you know, the other games had time to shine, but they could come in and kind of dominate the week they come in. So, I think that was a great choice. This game inevitably will have a lot of comparisons to Final Fantasy 15, and I think that's not I don't know why I keep why I keep pausing. That's not necessarily warranted, but I do understand it. You have a game where you control one character at a time. You have a sword. You have different weapons you can equip. A start menu where you can use items at any point. You know, you can kill monsters. You can kill animals. You can ride animals. You know, it's very similar at a very basic level. I think the tone of the game is a little bit different, whereas this one is more dystopian. Final Fantasy 15, which at times I guess you could almost classify as dystopian, but it's more melancholy. You know, you have more of the I don't know what's going on in my home city, and I have to figure it out, and I'm going back. I have to find my princess and all this stuff. You know, Legend of Zelda type stuff. This, from what I can tell, it's just more. It reminds me almost of Final Fantasy 13. When you go back to Erebor, and how, you know, the whole town, the ruins are still there, but the town is completely gone, and Hope or Vanille and Fang are trying to make sense of what happened. What happened while we were asleep? You know? This game revolves around, I guess, an alien invasion in what was it, on Earth, and the people, they killed all the people, and the people who were left, they fled to the moon, and now they're striking back on Earth because all these mechanical villains, all these mechanical baddies are kind of taking over, which I'm not really sure what they want to do with Earth, because it's not like they're like some life form that's like, oh, we're going to colonize this planet. It's like, no, they just destroyed the planet, and now they're just hanging out there. Like, we'll see robots, and they're just down there, but they're not actually doing anything. They're just just chilling, and we can kill. Like, I don't know. I'm sure more of that will become prevalent as you get through the video or get through the games, but you know, I don't know. It's kind of confusing at this point. From an art direction standpoint, keep in mind, none of this is written down. Like, I don't have any notes in front of me, so this is just freeballing. So if I run out of things to say, this video might just go silent, and you know, you might just be watching the rest of this video with just the game audio. Who knows? But from an art direction standpoint, I really appreciate, and you'll really notice it actually here. You know, the game, well, when you're in the hub world, you saw it was gray. It was like kind of like, this isn't the main focus. This is where you're preparing for your missions and everything. So there's no pops of color. It's, you know, you're in space. There's no light or whatever. I don't know. But they keep very, very muted with the color palette. You get to the open world segments. I don't know why I was shooting that wall. I was showing off. That's your little robot friend. He's your pod. You can equip different things to him and make him do different attacks. It's pretty cool. But this, you'll see a lot of grays. But you'll also, once we get up above onto the top of the building, you'll see there is greenery. But even still, it's very muted. It's very quiet. It's not saturated, if you will. Which I appreciate because it fits the tone of the game, but it also doesn't take away from how spectacular the level layout really is, and everything just seems like it was put together so intentionally, so with such care, and I love that. This shot in particular, it reminds me a lot of Last of Us, when you get to that city where you're trying to escort Ellie. Is that her name? No, is that her name? It's not Ellen Page, but she looks like Ellen Page if Ellen Page was a kid. What was her name? Was it Ellie? I think it was Ellie. Hold on a second. Now I'm curious. I'm going to look that up. Because, let's see. Last of Us. Because that really bothers me. Is her name Ellie? It is Ellie. That's so stupid. I'm sorry. That's really fraudulent. Because I know that Ellen Page was like, you didn't ask to use my likeness in Last of Us. Why the crap do I look like a kid in Last of Us? And I'm like, okay. But you can't name her the same name. That's bogus. That's kind of fraudulent. I don't mess with that. I actually sold that game. I hate Last of Us. From a technical standpoint, that game is amazing, but I can't deal with zombie apocalypse games. That junk sucks. It really does. Like, I don't like scary games. That's why I stopped playing Final Fantasy 15, honestly. Final Fantasy 15, I got to chapter 13. Played it for like 2 hours. Haven't made any progress. And it's slightly nerve-wracking having to deal with the zombies that keep dropping from the ceiling in that game. So it's pretty frustrating. But I mean, like, I'm gonna get through it. But I'm like, I don't care. Chapter 13 sucks. It's boring. I don't even know why I'm doing Chapter 13, because I rushed to get through that story. I'll get back to Nier in a second. But I rushed to get through Final Fantasy 15. So because I wanted to go through the story. And you get, it's kind of odd, I guess. You get to this big open hub world, and I'm like, oh, well, you can't go everywhere because you're under-leveled. So I was like, let me just follow through with the story, because as you gain levels and do side quests, I'll be like, oh, they'll take me to these other places, and I'll see them as I get through the game. But I ended up going so far with the story that you got to like chapter 11, which is the point of no return or whatever. You can't go back to the hub world unless I guess you use Umbro, which I didn't use at all because I forgot about them. So it was kind of buns. I am now in chapter 13, and I'm just shuffling through that terribly boring level. I think there's an update coming March 28th. But back to Nier. These guys, I'm showing them here because normally in the first level they fight you, and for some reason these little guys, they don't want none. They don't want none. Even though Nier got buns, son. Shout out to the fact that I want to say part of the reason why I even know about this game was some of the first thing I saw. I saw the game and I was like, oh, this looks cool. She reminds me of Lightning, so I'm gonna get the game. And then the next thing I saw of the game was, does Nier have a butthole? Does she have a butthole? Like that was the talk of the freaking town, because a leaked screenshot came out of her butt cheeks with a distinguishable anus. I think that's kind of funny. That alone, I was like, well, the fact that was something that is that's a topic of conversation. This game must be good. But no, I definitely was enticed by the gameplay and the fact that I was playing Final Fantasy 15 at the time, and I had intended to pre-order this game. And what happened was I actually got Yakuza 0 first, and Yakuza 0 took a lot of my time. I played it for like 40 hours, got through the story. I just beat it a couple days ago, and I love that game. If you haven't gotten it, go get Yakuza 0. It's worth all 60 of those dollars. It's great. It has like a dual protagonist storyline. I think I played an episode on my channel, which was really just a cutscene because I picked a terrible time to record it. But I might go back and show off some of it. But that game, the story is very compelling. Even though there's like these two separate protagonists, the story is great. I won't spoil any of it for you, but there's love, there's lust, there's action, there's betrayal. There's so much going for that story, and it's totally worth a play. You don't even have to know anything about Yakuza. This is my first Yakuza game, and it's amazing. So definitely check that out. But after I finished that game, I was so distraught because the story enticed me so much. I was like, okay, I need something to fill that void. I have Rayman, but I'm like, Rayman's not a story game. I play Rayman when I want to try to speed run through the level. I have Overwatch, which, again, not a story game. Overwatch would dominate all my time too if I let it. Look at the world, it's beautiful. Look at the world, it's beautiful. But I really don't have, what I was saying is I really don't have any story-based games to enjoy. Look at that building. That's what I was showing off there. That building is amazing. I almost died to this moose here. But, like, look at this. I wasn't expecting that. It's like a charge. Sucker really charged at me. But I needed something to kind of give me some more feelings, like hit me with some more emotion. And this game, I thought it would do it because of the dire circumstances under which the game takes place. So we'll see if the story holds up. As I play more of it, I'm like, I don't really expect the story to be crazy good, but I like the gameplay is super fun. The gameplay is hella fun, so I can't complain with that. Pick up the moose meat. There you go. So far, we've been introduced to the main character, who I'm controlling with a big sword on her back. Nier. No, that's not her name. That's not her name. Her name is 2B. 2B. This. She is a automaton. I don't even know what the crap she is. She's a robot fighting crime, trying to take back the Earth for the humans or what have you. And her companion here, 9S. And I mean, it's like the typical archetype. She's like the strong, stoic female lead. He's like kind of like the boyish wonder, the boy wonder, like a Hope S-Time for Final Fantasy 13. He seems to be very smart. He shows you stuff early on in the game, like how to activate your self-destruct and different menu options, stuff like that. But he also is kind of childlike. He's young. He's clearly younger than 2B. So there's like that guardian and dependent relationship between the two. So I appreciate that. And as much as people hated Hope, and he's a little bit of a cornball in 13. I loved that relationship between Lightning and Hope, and like he's almost like a little brother. He ends up in that role. I appreciate that because Lightning is such a badass, and she's like, so even with having a little sister, she's not the older sibling that you would think. So she comes out with more like maternal qualities by having Hope, and I appreciate that. So hopefully we'll see some of that in this game with 2B and 9S. But I mean, overall, he hasn't annoyed me at all, so that's really good. Sometimes you have these characters who are your companion characters, and you just can't stand them. So he doesn't talk too much, but when he does talk, he's helpful. So the little guys you see floating, as I mentioned before, those are your pods. You can equip them with different abilities like a hammer and freaking shields and whatnot. And what throws me off most about this game is that they don't have MP apparently. I think the last Nier game had some kind of magic point or casting points, so you can't exactly you can't just use your abilities over and over again. There is cooldown, but there's no like, oh, you have to collect items to keep replenishing your health to use attacks, which I appreciate because the combat, it's so fluid that I think it would suck if there was an MP system. Kind of like Final Fantasy 15, where at least their MP, it regenerates, so you don't have to keep worrying about will I find a MP restorative item. It's like, oh, I have it and it's good to go. So I appreciate that. Also, I want to point out that my save file is called Noctis out of respect for Final Fantasy 13 or 15 rather. This game actually has a shout out to 15. 15 is supposed to have a similar shout out to Nier Automata, but I don't think that's been released what that will be. I'm sure it'll come in one of the upcoming DLC games. Let me check to make sure my voice is recording this time. We're good, let's go. So this one, later in the game, I guess you can find this weapon, which all the weapons you find in game have these things called weapon stories, which as you level them up, you find more and more about the background of the weapon, which I think is kind of cool. It's pretty amazing the amount of detail. I don't know how many other games have weapon stories. None that I've ever played have those, so I think that's pretty neat. Especially considering JRPGs, where you could have you have a lot of collectible weapons. Like I think of something like Final Fantasy 13, where you have all these different blades for lightning, but you don't really know. You know what they do, but there's no story behind like why they're there. They're just, you find them and it's like, oh, I got a weapon. Or like in a Final Fantasy 4, where you end up having what's his face, Cecil, and he goes from the Dark Knight to the White Knight, and it's like we never really we know he gets like different weapons, but it's just like, oh, you have a different sword because you're different. So I think that's pretty dope. There's the engine blade in this game, as I was saying, which I think it gives some background on the relationship between Nocta and his dad, which I think is pretty cool because this game didn't have to do that. And this game obviously again draws criticism or comparison to Final Fantasy 15, but somehow they can include a shout out to that game without coming across as super like kind of stealing the shine or trying to take the spotlight from them. But as you can see here, the combat, this is I guess we'll fight more stuff in the next episode. Combat's pretty simple. Square is light attack, triangle is heavy attack, R2 is dodge, which if you dodge at the right time and then attack, you can hit them with a counter attack, which does massive damage. So it's pretty neat. It's a fun combo system to kind of learn. It doesn't seem like you need a whole lot to work with it, but as you go through the game, you get new items and whatnot. So it's pretty much worth your while. But I think that's just about it for the end of this episode. In the next episode, we're going to head into this cavern, or not this cavern, but like this hallway. And we're going to go to the first, like, town, I guess you'd call it. The city ruins, which is right there. But I have about 5 seconds left. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.